shaking, her face battered, her mouth bleeding. Neighbors, mostly women, clambered out onto their own porches, some rushing to her side, others sending word up the sawdust-sprinkled drive in the direction of the mill. Word that picked up speed as it spread. Something about an attack, by a nigger, over at James Taylor's house. By the time they laid Fanny Taylor on a friend's bed, weeping, hysterical, moaning for her babies, a crowd had gathered at her front gate. Her children were safe, carried to a neighbor's home, and a posse was already forming, 12 men, 24, the mob swelling by the minute. By the time James Taylor got there, Rob Walker, the county sheriff, had arrived. He brought word that a black convict had escaped the day before from a county road gang. The man's name was Jesse Hunter, and bloodhounds were already on the way. It was Jesse Hunter's scent, the throng believed, had no doubt, was on Fanny Taylor's clothing when pieces of it were brought out and rubbed on the hounds' noses, and the dogs shot away, bolting through the backyard, baying and snorting, out an open gate, up onto the gravel bed of the railroad tracks, then to the left, to the east, toward Rosewood. The sun was getting high now, the January light slanting off the whitewashed and weathered homes of the small black village. Nearly 30 homes, some hardly more than shanties, others the size of the finest 2-story houses in Sumner, all arranged among a network of dirt lanes winding through thickets of cedars and oaks. A few of the homes had lawns, several had fruit trees, some kept arbors of grapes. There were 3 churches, a general store, a Masonic lodge, a school, a baseball diamond, everything a town of 150 could need, a prosperous town, a town that took care of itself, a black town in a white place in a white time. Western Florida, 1923. They heard the hounds first, far off in the distance, the howls echoing through the brooding swamp. Then the voices of men, angry voices, hungry voices. "Kill him," the voices rumbled. "Kill the nigger." Children who had just stepped out to play were pulled inside. Doors were locked, curtains drawn. Those bold enough to peek outside saw a parade of white men surging past, some wearing Stetsons, others bareheaded, most brandishing long arms, rifles and shotguns, battered and beaten from years of use. But some of the weapons were new, gleaming, grabbed off store shelves and torn fresh from their wrappers just that morning. The dogs stopped at a small house in a grove of trees at the far edge of town, whining until the door was pushed open, then rushing in to paw at a gun, a water bucket, a bed. Then out the back, where fresh wagon tracks cut the sand, and the scent stopped. The house belonged to a man named Aaron Carrier, a soldier during World War I, now a civilian again, come back home to the place he'd been born. But Aaron Carrier was not in his house, and there was no sign of the wagon. The whites, furious, frustrated, fanned out through town until they arrived at the home of Aaron's mother, Emma, who answered the pounding on her door to confront a mob of white men. "Where is he?" one shouted. "Where's your boy? We want him now." Emma blocked the doorway. "He's sick," she said. "Sick in bed. He's been sick. He didn't do nothing. What you want him for? He didn't do nothing." The mob pushed her aside, stormed into the house, and found Aaron up in his mother's bedroom. They dragged him out, ordered him to talk, but he said nothing. So someone called for a rope, and as Emma screamed from the porch, they tied one end around Aaron's wrists and the other to the bumper of a car, a black Model T. The driver hit the gas, and Aaron Carrier's body was dragged up the hard dirt road, his shirt torn by the gravel, his skin seared by the sand. A quarter-mile they dragged him, and then they stopped, the driver saying he was tired of wasting his gasoline on this nigger. "Kill him," someone shouted. And that's when Aaron Carrier spoke. "I didn't do nothing wrong," he said, his voice cracking from pain and fear. "It was Sam Carter took him."